The city should provide neutral facts to inform debate, not a marketing campaign. The city's main pitch to the citizens has been that tourists, not taxpayers, will foot the bill for these projects. That claim is misleading and should be called out, not parroted. Two of the funding sources, the $250 million infrastructure bond and the use of TERS-backed bonds for the arena, will cost an estimated $50 million a year for 30 years in debt servicing. That money comes from the taxpayers, not from tourists, and for reference, it is more than last year's budget for pre-KSA. There's more detail in the packet that you were handed about the financing, but the truth is that all of the proposed funding strategies, the city and county hot tax and the project financing zone, tap funding that could be put to other uses. These include uses that are currently paid from the city's general fund. The costs and benefits of the Project Marble elements must be weighed against the permissible alternative uses, which would free up millions for core services. Even taxes paid by tourists can be used for these bills that are currently footed by taxpayers. My third point, and this is, I think, an important one, is despite repeated requests from the mayor and council, the city has yet to produce a cost-benefit analysis for Project Marble. The report that was released on last week is jaw-droppingly vacuous. I mean, as I read it, I thought even ChatGPT was probably saying, like, would you like me to try to find some data to support your assumptions? The report contains no market analysis, no cost analysis, no risk analysis. And I'm talking about this report. Has no risk analysis, and importantly, no comparative benefit analysis that looks at whether the money is better spent elsewhere. I want to call out KSAT for its excellent reporting on this. A consensus of experts that were interviewed by KSAT deemed the report, and I quote, useless, end quote. One of them explained that, and here I'm going to paraphrase, if council wants to have real information about costs and benefits, this report is useless. If what they want is cover for doing what they already planned to do, it's perfect. Neither the council nor the public should accept this expensive, useless fig leaf of a report as a cost-benefit analysis that's needed to make a critical and costly policy decision. And if council does accept this drivel, it is sending a clear signal that business as usual continues in San Antonio, and we're going to double down on an economy based on a generations-old strategy of building publicly financed vanity projects, a strategy that has had no impact on generational poverty. This strategy is not based on data, but rather on the wishes of construction companies and developers, overtaxed homeowners, and providing poverty wages to our workers. If San Antonio wants to do something transformational, it needs to turn its back on this type of capitalism, demand facts and not salesmanship, and sharpen its critical thinking skills. We urge the council to reject any ballot proposition until a real cost-benefit analysis has been done and informed decisions can be made. Thank you very much.
Now we'll have statements from some of the groups that are here. Can you step forward, please?
Hi, my name is Graciela Sanchez, and we've been angry, not just around this current project, but on about many of them. We're behind the Alamodome. It's been a waste of taxpayer money for over, definitely over 20 years, maybe 30 years. When this project moves forward, we're going to have to figure out how to fill the Alamodome, the Frost Bank Center, and the new arena. We don't have the ability to do that. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars, and that's why the city staff has kept this project a secret. Over and over, thank goodness that you as media have reached out and tried to get information from the city of San Antonio, which has kept it quiet, not just 2 years, but if this special taxing district got approved in 2023 by the state legislature, then that means that they were already talking again to other elected officials. But it's the private sector working with city staff, ignoring the city council, ignoring even the mayor, and then presenting to us BS. We don't want this. The economic analysis is an embarrassment to the city of San Antonio. How dare we again spend money to hire best friends from the Spurs to tell us what they want the analysis to be like? Let's get an outside person to do the analysis, and we'll get more information on the type of analysis, not just economic analysis that we want. But we say no to Project Marvel, to the San Antonio Sports and Entertainment Center. It's a waste of our money. This is a city that is very, very poor, and our folks have been struggling, and we can't continue to enrich the rich while the poor get poorer. I'd like to now bring up Paola Aguirre, who's going to talk a little bit about her posters that she's created on our behalf.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paola Aguirre. Fuerte. Can you hear me? I want to advocate today for the opportunity that we have here. As a professional that does this, I really believe there's no shortcuts for equitable and just planning processes. Takes time to build community-centered visions. Takes time to build bold visions. Shaping a meaningful vision takes time, takes people, takes process, investing in process. And it's 2025. We cannot afford for rush planning. We know what does that do to our communities, the impact that that has in our communities. If San Antonio wants to be a national reference, not only for attracting sports tourism, but high quality, meaningful, intelligent, and community-centered planning, please, Mayor, please, council members, take the time. A tool that has been used by other projects similarly around the country is a racial equity impact assessment. The community benefits agreement is nothing if it doesn't have a racial equity impact assessment. But we also have other tools. We have environmental assessments. We are, in 2025, we're talking about we have a whole plethora of tools to analyze how this development and this investment can be more equitable and include all the voices that are needed to have benefits for all San Antonians. So I want to ask, please stop what you have in mind right now. Stop relying on traditional and incomplete analysis and feasibility methods. We have this opportunity to set a national precedent and standard. Let's take that opportunity.
That's Jake.
Who's next?
Thank you all for coming out here today. My name is Jake. I'm with Pueblo Over Profit. It's a grassroots organization composed of San Antonio residents, activists, and housing justice organizations dedicated to fighting gentrification and displacement and struggling for public housing expansion and protection. Hold on a second. Sorry, bad practice for the glasses. So Pueblo Over Profit condemns this city's plans for a sports and entertainment district, aka Project Marvel, as a continuation of their undemocratic approach to development designed and geared for profits of the rich. For several years, the city manager's office has engaged and the wealthiest stakeholders behind closed doors with an eye towards how to sell this project to the people, sell this capitulation to the people rather than genuinely seek our input. At no point, including up to this date, have they sought genuine input from residents regarding what our priorities include. Even the so-called community engagement sessions were little more than a sales pitch encouraging us to assume the plan is moving forward as presented.
That's right.
Despite this approach, more appropriate for a car dealership, most of the community attendees were not having it, instead denouncing this process, including the failure to address the broken promises made regarding past stadium deals, especially promises made to the east side. Many asked, who is this Project 4, observing that little in it seems focused on regular people. Pueblo Over Profit published a number of videos documenting these community concerns. These meetings reflected the community discontent shown during the town halls hosted by Tommy Calvert, and again at the recent City Council special session where opponents were 4-1 to advocates for the Project Marvel plan. Yet city leaders, including several in council, continue to act like their constituents are in favor of this deal, or they think we're too dumb to understand what's good for us. These leaders ignore us, as well as the extensive research that says stadiums are lousy and sometimes catastrophic public investments. The previous two Spurs stadiums count as projects which failed to deliver on the lofty promises, and they are doing nothing to give us confidence that Project Marvel is any different. They have so far declined to concretely describe how this plan will add anything beyond low-wage, part-time, and/or temporary jobs. There is nothing proving that they are still committed to fulfilling the promises made to the East Side residents when the current stadium was built, and there is nothing demonstrating the political will to develop the workforce housing that downtown workers, whose labor creates the revenue for the hotel occupancy tax. They have no political will to develop the workforce housing that downtown workers can count on to be affordable, meaning 30% or less of their income. All these needs for a historically low-income city, yet leaders give away billions of our public wealth to unfathomably rich people with barely a negotiation. And then they spend even more money to sell it as good for us. So for all the above reasons and more, we call on the City of San Antonio to abandon the Project Marvel Sports and Entertainment District as it is currently formulated. We call on the county, the new city council, and mayor to direct the city manager's office to begin the process anew, this time starting with the communities they're supposed to serve, and make clear that while we appreciate having the Spurs in our city, we have no appetite for an abusive relationship with an ownership group that holds us hostage unless we give our money to the filthy rich. Our demand is so simple, it sounds like common sense, yet so rare it sounds unrealistic. Put your people over profit and use public money for public good. Thank you.
Good afternoon. We're the Coalition for Dignified Housing. We're a local grassroots coalition aimed at addressing housing insecurity and the adverse health risks induced by housing displacement, whether it's by eviction, foreclosure, and home demolitions. We are located in San Antonio's historic West Side, and we proudly serve its working class and humble families, listening to their worries and hopes for the future, while connecting them to important public resources and by cultivating community belonging and cultural programming in a rapidly gentrifying environment. The historic West Side and East Side is one of the poorest census tracts in the city. A majority of our neighbors reside in generational homes passed down by aging relatives, in public housing communities, or in HUD-subsidized nonprofit housing developments. Less and less, but still many, rent from landlords who gracefully continue to offer naturally affordable housing. We are a community that cannot afford the unforgiving rising costs of living that will continue to soar unregulated and ablaze by this multi-billion-dollar sports and entertainment district being proposed by city staff and Spurs owners. Dare I remind us that under this Trump administration, our city and the entire country is witnessing a collapse of our government agencies and public protections, including our deeply valued U.S. Civil Rights Act, for which thousands fought and lost their lives for. For fiscal year 2026, Trump and the Republican-controlled Congress have proposed to gut a total of $32.9 billion in rental assistance programs like Section 8, homeless housing, community development, and fair housing programs. Our city has yet to see what the impacts of these cuts will look like for our communities. And there is not enough naturally affordable housing to accommodate for the millions of people who will be affected by this man-made social crisis. Now is not the time to be spending our money on a new basketball stadium. We insist, invest all county taxes in the Coliseum and Frost Center, keep the jobs in the east side, and invest in community needs before new stadium deals. Thank you. Keep the jobs on the east side.
Buenas tardes. Yo soy trabajadora del hogar. De aquí de San Antonio organizo a trabajadoras del hogar. Estoy totalmente en desacuerdo con este nuevo estadio, con este nuevo elefante que vamos a gastar millones de dólares manteniéndolo ahí vacío, hueco, que no sirve para nada, cuando hay más problemas económicos en la ciudad de San Antonio. Tenemos un estadio ahí que no sirve y ahora van a hacer el estadio de béisbol, que ellos regalan los tickets para que la gente vaya porque es un equipo perdedor. Y este es básquetbol y no, estoy hablando del... Y el otro estadio van a destruir un museo, están destruyendo el museo, un museo que duró años, que tenía las culturas de todos los países. ¿Para qué? No me puedo imaginar cuántos miles de coches, dónde se van a estacionar ahí. Se va a utilizar personal de la ciudad, se va a gastar miles de dólares en personal para acomodar a toda gente en el parking. Es una locura, es un abuso total de esa gente millonaria. No, ¿qué digo millonaria? Billonaria. Que se vayan a otro lado con sus billones, que construyan su estadio en las orillas de la ciudad, donde hay mucho campo, donde hay mucha necesidad. Si dicen que traen riqueza, porque la gente viene a las tiendas, los turistas, y compran, pues que se vayan a las orillas donde se necesita dinero, donde se necesitan tiendas, donde se necesitan hoteles, donde se necesita ganar dinero. Los sports dicen que ellos van a traer más turistas y que va a haber dinero. ¿Cuál dinero? Es una mentira. Hemos estado aquí por años y seguimos en la misma miseria. Los trabajadores en los hoteles no han subido los salarios, siguen igual los salarios miserables de hambre, de $7.25 la hora. ¿Cuál es el progreso que ha recibido el pueblo de San Antonio? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuál es el progreso? Ellos sí han progresado, ganan billones de dólares, son riquísimos. ¿Y qué dan? No dan nada a la ciudad. ¿Por qué no dicen voy a construir casas, voy a construir escuelas, más parques, más bibliotecas para la comunidad? Las albercas, desde hace 35 años, las albercas para los niños de la comunidad pobre siguen siendo las mismas, viejas, feas y craqueadas. ¿Por qué no invierten ahí? ¿Por qué no dan dinero de verdad? Que se vayan con sus millones a otro lado. Y otra cosa, que no usen el dinero de la ciudad, que no usen el dinero de la comunidad para construir eso. Que no lo pongan en la boleta de votaciones. No queremos ese estadio aquí. Esos millonarios que se vayan. Gracias.
Thank you so much. So we do invite everybody who has concerns about this project to join us at the City Council chambers at 5 o'clock this Wednesday, so that they can hear more about the various groups who are opposing this. We have several groups who were not able to join this press conference today, including Cops Metro, but this coalition is strong. We also advise every citizen who wants to learn more about this project to join us on Wednesday. Thank you so much for coming, and people will be available for questions. Thank you.
No Project Marble! 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 No Project Marble!